It's weird being in front of the camera.
You're not used to it.
No. Yeah, it's odd.
How does it feel? Like, is it anxious?
No, it's alright. But I'm aware of it. I need to stop looking at it. I'll point this way.
What if we interviewed each other? What if we do like...
What if?
I mean...
I haven't prepared for that.
Yeah, we're prepared for it.
We're prepared for your...
Show what you got.
You can't get out of it. So, shall I begin with an introduction?
Sure.
Of who we have here. Ladies and gentlemen, here we have Sheik. He is first and foremost a looter.
Drifter. And we're here to expose.
An organizer of Porto, great overall guy. What else have we written? Engineer, philosopher, scientist.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Collective
Artist,
sense maker.
musician. You do stuff.
I do stuff.
You do stuff.
I do
Yeah.
things.
You do things.
Yeah.
Can fiddle with the U bass and beatboxing.
Some would disagree on the beatboxing part. But I wouldn't.
And you're here to talk about your upcoming EP.
Oh, is that what I hear to talk about?
Plug the EP, yeah.
Yeah. I used to have a band called New, like GNU, and we just broke up, but the EP is still coming out. Yeah. I was just talking to the guy who's mixing the music.
I think like having a band that broke up is even cooler than just having a band.
Yeah, because it's not like, oh yeah, we play shows for no one. It's just, I used to have a band.
Yeah, have a
We-
band.
We were
broke
great.
up.
Yeah.
Money stuff.
Yeah. It's great lore, chic lore. There's so much chic lore that we don't know.
Yeah.
Really is.
We're gonna try and poke at it a bit today.
Yeah.
It's funny. I see how I care about the interview because I'm tensed. Also the 3 coffees I had maybe.
Are we all caffeinated? Are you caffeinated?
I'm not.
Red Bull hated.
Oh, Red Bull.
That's caffeine,
Yeah,
isn't
that's caffeine. I am caffeinated.
We
I
are.
forgot about the Red Bull. Yeah. Obviously not
That's
as
the
much
frequency
as
of caffeine too?
Yeah.
That's the texture of caffeine.
Oh my god. Caffeine is math rock.
Yeah.
Definitely.
We didn't bring paper.
Do we want paper?
That's okay. Should we start? We could start talking about Porto.
Yeah.
I think Portal is the first.
So this is Porto.
This is Portal.
Portal.
What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, we want to talk about how it feels for you so far. Maybe the way you presented Portal to me.
Yeah.
One of the many ways you presented Portal is it was an experiment.
Yes.
You had hypothesis you wanted to test.
Yes.
What's your scientific report on Portal so far? What did you want to test and how is it going?
Yeah. So I think I made up the experiment thing after the fact. After I've already like
Ad hoc
ad hoc.
hypothesis.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like the beginning was just I'm feeling lonely in Porto. I want to do like intellectual work, but I feel like I want people around me to like bounce ideas off of, and like I do a thing and someone builds on it, and I build on the thing afterwards. And the minimum viable version of that thing is just telling everyone to move to Porto and finding a place to meet up in every day.
Yeah.
This place showed up really quickly, so like the very next day after we tweeted like gauging interest, we found the place. So like bam,
Whoa.
yeah, like the next
Whoa.
day, yeah, and yeah, so that happened, and then the hypothesis I wanted to test, or that I said I wanted to test, was like, yeah, Tpot talks a lot, but can they do stuff? So I wanted to grab all the people I thought that did stuff and who have, concrete projects doing things relatively related to taking subjectivity seriously, but also applying like a rationalist mindset to it, or like a systematic mindset to it. And I got very few of those people. Instead, I got you guys.
Okay, it's
The leader prize, tpoters.
Yeah, no, I mean, I say this a bit tongue-in-cheek. I'm very glad I got you.
It's like we have intellectuals at home. Intellectuals at home.
You know, like we have some people with like actual companies, or people with, you know, actual course offerings, or like well-known
body of
blogs,
work.
artistic bodies of work, exactly. But we also have a lot of people who came in to begin doing that, right? Like get started on that path, and that's a pretty different setup than if everyone already had their stuff. But you know, this is the crowd that applied. We didn't say no to anyone, as you know.
It's funny, we talked about also how, in a way, it's like logical that like that's the crowd you got because it's
where I am personally too.
Yeah, it self-selects for like the most I don't know, people who have like already like strong projects and stuff like that. More of them are already busy.
Exactly. Yeah, not everyone has the month of July free, and if you have more serious projects, you probably have like speaking arrangements, or you know, you have a team to run, or just other events. You can't take like a whole month to like be in a focused environment or something. Yeah, so the hypothesis was, can teapots make things, especially can they make things faster if they're co-located, you know? And my scientific report is sort of, I think.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Great conclusion.
I think, you know, we have a few success cases. We started the podcast with all of the people here. You know, that you might consider that pretty self-referential, and so say it doesn't count. So we also started a software project where we're asking everyone to upload their archives, and we're building a little website and a database API to, you know, go around the Twitter API limitations by letting everyone in tpot upload their archives and then build stuff on top of it on the API that we serve. That's also kind of a self-referential project, not necessarily about Portal, but the Twitter milieu. But you know, I'm saying this to myself, to my own like self-criticism. Like, fuck off, you know. You're embedded in a community. You know, you're inseparable from the context in which you exist. So, of course, you're gonna like try to improve it and direct your work to the things that you're a part of, and so on.
Yeah. Did you feel in your upcoming post you talk about the necessity for pre-paradigmatic scene building for field of embodied wisdom? I don't remember how you phrased it, and what keywords used. But like, yeah, one of your points where wisdom, like a whole wisdom, has to be like multidimensional, embodied. Like it has to integrate like some of the dimensions that are sometimes neglected, and this is more enabled by like in-person interactions where there is like a nervous system regulation and like other kinds of like subtext or pre-verbal exchange and whatever.
Yeah, like subtle information transfer, subtle communication.
How do you feel about that? Like about did you feel Portal facilitated more wisdom for you?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think the biggest sort of level up.
Interesting.
I think the conflict we had in the middle of Portal, like at the end of week 2, was definitely the like most effortful thing, and the one where I had to like grow the most.
How did you what did you grow on from that?
Oh, just, you know, I updated towards being like more decisive and trusting my intuitions more, my first impressions more, trusting the women's intuition earlier too. sooner.
They're wise.
Yeah.
No, that's very true. That's it's funny. We have like saying that we like have to laugh it off a bit. I don't know. That's like it's, but I don't know. At least for me, that was a lesson as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. Is there there's something like vulnerable about like making gendered statements or something like that.
Yeah.
But like
It's a
it
fact.
was so clear. Yeah, it was so clear. Yeah, it was so clear. Just like statistically, all the women had a better intuition about this conflict than the guys here.
Yeah. Just dum-dums. We know nothing.
I think we need both, right? It's that opponent processing thing, yin yang.
Yeah.
You know, I think being more like, you know, being more vocal about an ick is actually like a yang impulse, and being open-minded and giving like multiple chances and like the benefit of the doubt over and over is like more of a yin thing. So it's funny how, you know, women were having the yang behavior and men were having the yin behavior somewhere.
Yeah.
And that yin behavior it also comes from like a systematic place. So it's like yin nested in yang.
Yes.
Because it's like you are, as a man are giving multiple chances because there's no legible like code that was broken or something, you know.
Very rule-based kind of
Rule-based,
behavior.
exactly. Yeah, and if the rules aren't specific enough to have been clearly broken, then it feels hard to act on it.
Yeah.
Whereas people who are more okay with acting from their intuition, like we'll just do that.
Yeah. Oh. It makes me have another question maybe. Do you feel like tpot is another of these milieus who have a big gender imbalance, especially at events, stuff like that. I don't know how we are doing here.
We're doing it really well.
Yeah. Do you feel well? So we are all guys, so we're like not the best in the best place to like have an answer to that. But do you feel it was I don't know, better than average? Or like that it was a good environment for?
Yeah, I think we basically had 50-50 gender ratio.
In terms of like how it ended up being and feeling for women, do you think they would say it was?
I'd be really curious to know that their answers. You know, just based on a guess, I think they would say that they feel better having more women around.
Yeah, for sure.
And usually I hear a preference from women to have like 60, like a ratio of 60-40, like 60% women, 40% men.
Interesting.
Depends on the women, of course, but you know, from the ones that I talk to the most.
So, going forward, what are your next steps? You have all this knowledge you gathered from running the event. Are you going to write some kind of debrief? Are you going to like examine it more, study it, think about it?
Yeah.
Are you planning to then kind of run more things and kind of implement what you've learned?
Yeah, thanks for asking that. I'm definitely writing a debrief, definitely writing a report as detailed as I can. It's probably not going to be very detailed. I didn't take detailed notes every day, so it's going to be mostly from sparse notes and memory. And honestly, yeah, I don't know how much there is to say. I think, again, the most salient thing was the conflict and sort of the rough way the vibe shaped out. Like, we had a very hero's journey shaped month.
Totally.
Yeah. So I might say that. I might talk about how we iterated on the check-ins and yeah, other things that might come up that I can think of now. In terms of running other things, that's hard.
Huh.
I ran Chic Week last year, and that was more of like 4-day event, kind of like a jazz camp, and I wasn't planning to run another, and then I ran this, right? So I think I'm more interested in like doing experiments if I can, than like trying to get one thing running like regularly. So I think my next thing's probably gonna look different.
How different?
That's a good question. I don't know. Either I get people to move here, or I move somewhere else with more people, and then do like a more permanent thing.
more long term.
Yeah, just I hope that running this will give me some credit with funders or people trying to start projects like this, or like people who own spaces in big cities, and or like those pop-up cities, Zuzalu and Edge. I don't know, it could be interesting to run experiments in those contexts as well, but I haven't fully thought about it.
Well, that's a cool. Sorry.
Yeah, it's kind of segues to our next question, which would be like, what would you do with 100K? Like, what would this look like if you had 100K?
Oh man!
Another way I phrase it is like, how would have Porto been different if you had
100K?
50 to 100K of funding or something like that? You don't look happy to receive funding.
No, I'm not.
That's so interesting. Yeah.
Wow, so difficult.
Yeah, because I think
Bouncy castle.
Bouncy castle, 100 bouncy castle.
You still have a lot of money left.
Man, I think my first impulse is to say permanent building, like buy a building, but even that, like, what if Porto isn't the right place to have a building for a reason or another? I feel like I need to gather more information. Yeah, maybe, definitely people wouldn't pay, right? But like, that's like 10K from the 50 or 100K.
Yeah.
I think maybe even subsidizing people's subsidizing people's Airbnb, subsidizing people's like food and stuff. Yeah, catering. If we had more money, we'd definitely do catering.
Do you think it would change the?
Yeah, I feel like the space dies down a bit
around noon.
like around noon, just because people go out for lunch, or people just don't eat properly. And yeah. So that's a good question. I need to think more about it. I need to think more about what I do with more money.
It's a good problem to have, right?
What would you do?
Oh, I don't know. What would I do? I think just like prolonging it for as long as possible. Considering that people also have work maybe sometimes, and it cannot be like a full-time. If it's longer, maybe people want to do it part-time.
Yeah,
you can do like a how do you say? Grants for projects.
Yeah, I could do grants, that's true. Childcare. If people with kids, that's usually a big constraint. Like, what do you do with your kids?
There's a lot of services you can offer to make people more able to contribute. I think
can
that's
make
definitely
it
one of them. Catering, food, childcare.
You could make it financially viable for you as well.
That was Go on, sorry.
Yeah, a big you already talked about that personally, but from what I remember of you talking about the finances of Porto, you spent a month working on that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's not financially sustainable for us to do this, and probably paying even a Portuguese salary to the both of us would take like 50K. No, that's not true. That's for a year. But
5K.
Yeah. Putting on another timer.
That's really cool. We're doing the technical challenges and the podcasting at the same time.
Okay then. Well, so back into the talk about making it viable. Sponsorships would make it viable, but do you think there's any way all these people could collaborate together to make, income generating things that sustain the space? So sustain themselves and sustain the space.
I'm a little skeptical of anything that's not like, oh, we just happened to find the right team to start a business and now we just pay money to be here, right? Or even we're so grateful to Porto that they provided a space to incubate this thing that we want to make a donation and make Porto sustainable for longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, the alternative would be, in a bigger city, there would be enough demand that we just charge a membership.
Yeah.
But I haven't thought about it much.
Do you think you would, if you had a team of like, probably dumb question, but if you had a team of like 5 chicks, would you like, would you make a good team to like, would you like to collaborate with
me?
teams of yourselves on a startup or something? What is this?
I mean, on one hand, I feel like I'm enough of a generalist that it might work.
Mm-hmm.
I also think I have like pretty specific preferences on the kind of work that I like doing.
So you need more complementary.
Yeah, but I don't have a really good sense of what the complementary skill sets are. I think B is a pretty good complementary skill set to me in life.
Yeah.
And she, she really cares about having a really nicely set up environment and like our life-giving processes, like food and cleaning and stuff. Like it looks like I'm painting her in a very gender rolesy way, but no, she's like the system architect, and then we both execute. And like she, even beyond her being the system architect, like I'm also getting onboarded into doing more of that, but like she's definitely been a driving force. And she usually cares about different things than I do. I tend to be very airy and like concept heavy, and also more like social, like connecting people. And she'll be like more infrastructure, coziness, bottom up, goodness.
So we should be interviewing Bia. Why are we wasting time with this guy?
I hope we will.
I hope you will. Yeah. It was a little shy.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I have another question.
In this topic, I guess like the other version of the question I asked that I wrote is something like, you asked, you expressed the other day like, what should I do next and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the way you, or maybe Simon phrased it is like, do you think we?
Just wait for a little.
There's a plane.
There's a plane.
It's okay.
It was like, if you had a chic to deploy, where would you? And so I guess I asked a bit of this question. I wanted to ask you this
How
question.
would I deploy myself?
How would I? Or if you had another chic, how would you deploy it?
Yeah.
You have a clone. They're right there.
Whoa.
So you can split up the.
How would I deploy me? Well, I'd probably just parallelize the stuff that I'm doing. So like, I have one chic writing essays, and one chic doing doing admin and or the coding project or like the podcast. Yeah, I feel like the essays that I'm writing are more. I feel like they're important to give people a sense of like my mental architecture and sort of how I see the world, and give people a sense of where I would go, or where I am going, and for people to see how they can sort of plug in, more or less. And just, general signaling, hey, I'm smart and I think about things, I like the same topics that you like. You can trust me. Very Machiavellian. Yeah.
And then we become friends and we build cool things together.
Oh my god, then we flourish!
Evil.
All we need is some clones of chic.
So yeah, I'm not sure myself. I feel pretty bottlenecked on like I was gonna say clarity of vision, but maybe it's just like I feel pretty bottlenecked on just being in a way. It's like,
What do you mean?
I don't know. I feel like if I meditate and if I meditate and if I rest, my system settles, and I have energy to try a bunch of things, and the selection of things will be like attuned to my intuition because I'm settled, and then yeah, like that sampling might yield some result, and like I'll want to dive into things. I don't know. I feel pretty. Sorry. Yeah, you know how plans are useful to make, but like worthless to execute on. I feel a bit like that.
Yeah.
You know. Oh, what about plans? What about things for the future? You know, I have like a rough plan, but it's fake, and the actual bottleneck is in actually like taking days step by step, and like actually sleeping well, and like eating well, and resting properly, and then like executing on the things as they feel right.
Do you think you had a sane health? How do you feel about your like this like integrated? I don't have managed to frame this question. How do you feel about these things during Porto?
During Porto?
Did you have a healthy and balanced lifestyle?
Healthy-ish. I think eating was the thing that suffered the most. I think whenever Bia stayed behind and brought food, which was like, you know, maybe a quarter of the days, I would eat well. Then, you know, maybe another quarter of the days I went out to eat.
Yeah.
And that's fine, but more like pretty expensive.
That's why we need catering.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for
It
real.
helps so much.
For real.
So much.
Yeah. And yeah, then, you know, I wasn't eating super well. Sleeping was fine. This last week I'm going out at night more, so yeah, but I'm making the most of the little time that I have you guys around.
Oh, cute. On that note, you've been trying to convince us to move to Porto.
Yes, move to Porto.
Okay. I need you to tell me 3 reasons not to.
Reason not
Three
to.
reasons
Yeah,
why
I can,
Porto
I can.
absolutely sucks and it's the worst place in the world.
Okay.
We shouldn't go.
But okay, do you want a cute answer that makes you want to move more, or do you want like actual cons of living in Porto?
You can have one cute answer out of the 3.
Okay. Alright. Because this is a big like topic of tension for me too. Because like I want people to move here, and I want you to move here specifically. But you know, me myself, I'm unsure of like, is Porto like the right place to like invest in or something?
Yeah, he makes those moves here, and then he goes to
Go exactly. you know that's crossed my mind.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, makes sense.
It can be temporary, right?
Yeah,
It's
it can
nothing is
totally be
forever.
temporary. Yeah, we can.
I could see
It can
myself
just be
here
another
for a bit.
experiment, right?
Yeah.
Like a few months instead of a month.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think the food is so good that you'll get fat. That's the cute answer.
Yeah. Excellent.
You'll have. You won't have as much time to work because you'll be invited to like Saturday brunch at our place, and that's always really good. And you'll want to stay the afternoon, and you'll have friends now. You'll have friends around, so you can go like chill at the coffee shop and
Such
enjoy
a
the sun.
Bad thing about Porto.
I did the second sweet one. I can give two bad ones for you. I don't think Portugal is like in general like growing. So there's not a lot of like economic opportunity. Like demographics are kind of shit. There's a lot more old people than young people. There's not a lot of like energy, like industry, like free money to do things because the economy needs it. There is quite a lot of art in Porto, which is nice. Like culturally, it's really alive and vibrant. But that's mostly off the back of artists not getting paid enough.
Well,
universal.
Yeah.
Isn't that though the case with kind of many places in the kind of Western EU?
I think Western Europe is sort of like that. I think France might have better demographics than most places.
I think we 1.6 I don't know.
1.6 what?
Children.
Fertility
Yeah.
rate.
Mm.
I'm not sure.
And Paris is a huge city with like, an ML scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope.
Hopefully, yeah. With a budding ML scene.
But
Yeah, that's a whole topic.
You have Mistral and Hugging Face, right?
Yeah, but it's
wow. I
yeah.
didn't know that.
But even them, like I was annoyed by like how much they're like marketing, or like their narrative is still like how can we become French
EU.
OpenAI or something like that?
Yeah.
How can we do as well as
Yeah.
which like if your narrative is like the US is better,
Yeah.
it's a bit sad. But yeah.
Well, I think that's still a really good strat. China has a bunch of big social media giants and in general tech giants. Out of being Chinese Facebook, being Chinese Google, being Chinese whatever the fuck, and now they're just huge companies that are nearly as big, and it doesn't matter because it's a big business, big industry. The fucking software companies are buying nuclear reactors to power their data centers. It doesn't matter that it began as let's be Chinese Google.
Do you have a sense of like patriotism, or like like do you have takes, like do you want to solve Portugal or care about that?
I care about it. I wouldn't say it's like my first or second or third priority, but if I could I would, or like if it felt easy enough.
You could be recruited to a project like that.
Yeah. I think about that a lot because Portugal's like a pretty good size to be like a startup country or something, because it's not a massive country. Yeah, you can test a lot of shit. You can have experimental legislation.
Experimental stuff. Yeah. I see what you mean. That.
Yeah, and it's got a lot of good stuff. The weather's great. The food's amazing. Like people are really nice, in my opinion. We have actual culture.
Contrary to which yeah.
Okay. Those are some
questions.
good and bad reasons to stay and come to Porto.
Yeah, and like if you want to be persuaded more, you said we should build a thing, right? A few weeks ago, and like I think we might be able to build a thing, right? Like my biggest constraint with people who are excited about collaborating with me usually is that people aren't technical enough, and
interesting.
Yeah, or just are missing, are clearly missing skills that they would need to like start executing now, right? And we haven't really talked about it, but I have a feeling that you're both like pretty ready to start now-ish on anything, and I don't have a thing in mind, right? Like I'm just the software project that we have is like a thing.
Nuclear power plants.
and it doesn't. I'm not even expecting us to start a thing. It's just more that there's a potential there, or even like like sort of deep collaboration at a few points, even if it's not like an ongoing thing. It's like there's this really cool project that I wanted to make happen, and it just could, right? Like could be a software thing, could be hosting people, just making stuff happen, just regular like scene building stuff, like also tech and machine learning things, tools for thought, like tpot type pursuits. We could do the neurotech startup if we wanted to.
Just need money.
Is money the bottleneck?
Is
money really the bottleneck?
If you want to have the, like the runway, to have like enough runway and enough time in the day to be able to focus on it properly, right? You need money.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why Portugal, I guess, is good because it's
right.
cheap.
Cost of living is relatively cheaper. Yeah.
But yeah, I felt the same being here, like around you, around everyone, like doing loads of like, software things. Everyone seems to like have a kind of a good grasp of like technology. but also kind of more, tpot concepts and woo stuff and then like psychology and very well-rounded individuals. And yeah, I feel like as a community we should continue after next week and try and online coordinate and communicate and kind of start something, some kind of project, or just keep it going, keep the check-ins going, I think is my opinion. I think we should keep the check-ins going remotely or something every week, or
Interesting.
if not every day.
Or retros. Then.
Retros, yeah.
Some films, yeah. Did you like the check-ins?
I like the check-ins, yeah.
Did you hate the check-ins?
I didn't hate the check-ins. I like them now, and I'm surprised.
That you like them?
Yeah.
Yeah, like we did converge on a
Yes.
like there was a search process.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
quite cool. Yeah.
I wanted to start with pods, but people wouldn't let me.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really interesting.
People, yeah,
We have to experiment.
have
You
to
have to see that it
experiment.
sucks.
You have to implant the idea so it's
Yeah.
their idea. And
It
that's
took-
what you did.
Yeah, it took like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I also feel like it took 2 weeks or a week and a half to do something else. Like I was already super keenly aware that this is a very heady bunch and that people have ADHD and a lot of ideas and like very high branching factor. And I was like, from day one, I was like,
Yeah.
hey, how do we feel about, checking in with our body and saying fewer ideas, but
Yeah.
branching less and going like deeper or like reflecting more on if we want to keep talking. And people were just like, no. Like,
Let us have fun.
obviously not. Like that prevents like the good ideas from coming out. The one. Like, anyway, it took like a week and a half to 2 weeks for people to be like, you know what, talking is nice, but actually I want to do things.
Do you think you would do it differently?
No, I don't think I could have. I think I could have implanted the idea better. Like I got this from River, but like the thing of like checking in with your body. You might have a million things to say up here, but like only like 2 or 3 topics that are really alive here, and that will prevent you from speaking more, for example. And from branching so much, right? And you'll naturally want to refocus on the things that are like relevant here. Yeah.
What are you?
I'd give like emphasis on that at the beginning, but I think it would still take like 2 weeks for people to tire themselves out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
People
yeah,
just
yeah.
you need to burn out on a thing to like find an alternative
Yeah.
and
But
commit to it.
Everyone was so excited though. I think it was good to be able to have that option of doing that with other people.
Yeah. Because not everyone's used to that. Like,
not everyone's used to it. Not everyone has been in a space like this before.
Yeah.
Being able to like have such a conversation where people can hold a lot of context in their
Yeah.
heads and like complex ideas, and
Yeah.
they can actually like give you kind of legit commentary on your ideas. Sorry.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and like at this point I'm used to going to Twitter events and hanging out with Twitter people, so I know what it feels like, and I know that while it's cool and it's great to like feel normal talking about the whatever schizo shit you like, or referencing stuff that you saw on the feed and people knowing exactly what you
Yeah.
mean because they also saw it.
Yeah.
Like that feels great, but yeah, it's limited. It's like it stays up here and doesn't like cohere as a real thing unless you take active steps to make it real.
Yeah.
Like, what is an experiment I could run? What's like a concrete deliverable that I can produce? A concrete artifact? Because otherwise, nothing gets done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel we've been trying to, at least I have, when I talk to people here, I always try to get them to, you can stay up there, expand your thoughts for a bit, branch out, see what links, but eventually you have to converge back to, what do I do?
Yeah.
What's the next step?
Yeah.
And in my discussions with people in general, kind of workshops and stuff, I've been trying to get everyone to that. I always ask people like, how do you feel? What are you doing today? Okay, and I feel that those 2 questions have given people enough kind of motivation to do stuff, and also kind of clear, what am I actually doing? How am I doing it? So it was struggling in the beginning. I guess it was difficult, but eventually we did it. Like I feel this week has been amazing. Don't you agree?
This one?
This week has been really good. And if we had a fifth week, it would be
Even better. I know.
Even better.
I know. We had a dance party, like impromptu dance party on Monday.
Yeah.
People did improv after hours yesterday. What else did we do this week? I've been really focused on the
We're
software
Wednesday.
thing. We're on Wednesday.
Only
Yes.
Wednesday, yeah.
Only 2 days
Captain,
happened.
it's only Wednesday.
Yeah. Well, we've done more podcasts,
Yeah.
Yeah.
painting, DJing.
DJing. Yeah, we started DJing.
We started DJing. Like we made a couple of bad songs as well at some
Did we?
point.
I
Yeah,
didn't.
me maybe and Brent. We
Mhm.
made some songs on the thingy.
A workshop, Aggie's game.
Aggie's game.
Aggie's game, yeah. Like
Yeah.
Aggie just went from I don't have a project, I only have courses that I'm working on and maybe a book, to like she's playtesting a game,
Yeah.
and in my opinion, it works pretty well with small groups.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I want to see how that evolves.
Me too.
But yeah, so many good things. We gotta keep them going. I don't know if there's gonna be a fifth week. I certainly cannot stay for one more week.
I don't think.
But
there
if you
is.
keep it going for enough weeks, I will probably come back.
Yeah. So one thing people might not know is that the house is getting demolished. So there's a very like strong sense of, you know, we're not building something up and like accumulating a nest. It's just it's like a flower that's like flowering now, and then its beauty is just gonna scatter to wherever people came from. You know, and hopefully some seeds stay behind and,
Yeah.
and like start growing a new thing.
Growing a new thing. Fantastic.
You have a maybe too random of a question. Do you have a thing you feel you grew on thanks to Chic, or you learned from Chic?
No.
Or maybe like how
Not even my roast. Change your Twitter handle.
Yeah, no, those helped a bit. Those helped a bit. They
Yeah,
brought me
these-
down a couple of notches. Yeah, I was way too
Too-
I don't know, emergent. Hold on, I need to like process this.
I also don't expect a serious answer.
yeah. How would you talk about Chic to your friends back in London?
I just met this great guy who does a lot of stuff, and yeah, like in terms of like active inference terms, you're like a high action person. I that's like I really appreciate that you put all of this together. You did it. You had the idea. You executed. You brought everyone. Like crazy manifestation skills, bro.
That's
crazy
true.
manifestation skills. bro.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, like it personally, I guess it helped me realize that it's possible.
You can just do
You
things.
can just do things, bro.
Yeah.
Just do things and it will happen.
It's funny because that's the thing I think I'm gaining from you.
Yeah.
I think you're really good at like making people realize they can just do things.
Well, yeah, I for me it was a leap of faith, and when I landed, and like I saw like Chic, I'm like, okay, because at the beginning, first week kind of thing, I had this thoughts of, like, what do I do? Like, should I ask Chic for permission to write on the walls or do this or do that? And then I realized that like he didn't want that, first of all, and then it would be better if I just fucking did it and then ask for forgiveness if like I did something wrong.
Yeah.
And I used it as an example for other people, because if you made the space, I expect that there would be like a second person who would be the person who kind of uses the space, right? And I tried to be that person, show everyone.
I think you did great. I think you did so great.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
yeah. I really appreciated all the initiative that you took, like with going shopping and like organizing like painting workshops, and just the little things, like you being you brought so much gear that made the interviews possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Just high agency person right back at you.
Wasn't always like, yeah, for me it's a recent thing. But yeah, it's a thing that I think it's contagious, right?
Mhm.
It's contagious. So
Supporting environments.
yeah. I have one question that kind of came to mind from our list.
Mm-hmm.
We touched upon manifestation.
Mhm.
How do you use magic and why?
So, I think for a person that talks so much about magic, I really don't practice it formally or anything. I don't have magical artifacts. I don't like enchant things. I don't do like rituals properly. And maybe stuff in my life would go better if I did. But I think to do that sort of thing, you also need a clarity that I don't think I have yet or something.
Why?
I don't
I don't buy
know.
that.
You don't buy that? Like doing like a sacrifice for something. Like that feels like a commitment, literally, right? Like it's all about commitment. It's about committing your nerve. It's about burning your ships. Committing your nervous system to a thing. And I think I need to do that at some point. I just need to know what or something. My life is pretty like short-sighted at the moment for some
But
reason.
isn't that what like some of the people that we interviewed who like I would say do more magic or like live more in this kind of like manifesting, like being attuned to these kind of things?
Yeah.
Didn't they say, like for example River
Yeah.
was like, oh, like all my life I've been like just guided by the flow of things and like
Yeah.
things manifest and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
The kind of people who do that are more like that, no?
That's fair. Okay, I want to answer the questions like a different way. Actually.
Okay.
I think the way I do magic is like pretty freeform, and it's more about trying to get as much clarity as I can, and then broadcasting it. And I think that just taps into the underlying mechanism of how manifesting works. I have a blog post about this, but it's mostly you broadcast the signal, and there's a social like routing, subconscious like routing protocol thing, right? So it's like if you're talking to a friend and you're like, oh yeah, I really need the projector, blah blah blah. Like your friend is automatically gonna think of the people he knows who could own projectors and like sort of route the projector back to you, and stuff. And this works in more in subtler ways too, right? So if you're like a really chill guy that seems to have a really clear vision of the project he wants to run, and he's only missing money, like the money's gonna get fucking routed to you. So I think manifesting is like bottlenecked on like clarity and nervous system regulation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't do any like aesthetically magical things, but
I don't think you have
that's
to.
how I interact with
You
that
don't
space.
have to. Like, the aesthetics is different to the thing.
Yeah.
You could do the thing without the aesthetics. The aesthetics helps kind of fool your brain as well sometimes.
Yeah.
Like the rituals are very powerful.
Yeah.
And like, there are like rituals that you can like follow, I guess, that other people have written, but you can also just like make
Make
your
up your
own
own,
dumb ritual. Like sitting in front of your laptop and like writing is a ritual, right? Like anything can be a ritual, or like the clothes you wear, right?
I think you're right that the rituals like sort of fool your brain. I think there's another mechanism at play where I sort of see through that, or I don't really believe, like I don't think the aesthetics would help me, right?
Yeah.
Because there needs to be some aspect of like mystery, like you don't know, you're interacting with unknown forces. So like I think the aesthetics would help people who didn't really have good models for the mechanism of it. I think really good magic works at the edge of understanding. And globally it would work at the edge of science or whatever, right? Because it's like what you do in magic is you make a proposal, you make up a story, and people buy it or they don't, right? And if they buy it, they're gonna start acting as if the story is true. And if it's easy to disprove the story, the magic loses its potency, because you don't accept the story. People don't accept the story anymore. But if it's currently unfalsifiable because it's at the edge of human knowledge, then it's like effective magic. or it's like robust magic. At the end of the day, like, we still need stories to make sense of the world and like which direction to go in, right? Like, you know, AGI is a story that people tell, and but they've been able to support it with arguments and so on. Like, it's not verifiable. It's just it looks good enough that enough people buy it, and so it moves a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
But you always need stories. Like, nations are stories,
Yeah.
right? And so on.
Yeah. But that's also a kind of aesthetic. So back to your point about not needing an aesthetic, maybe you just haven't found the right aesthetic yet.
Exactly. Yeah. So one thing I think is like fruitful is like thinking in terms of like narrative archetypes. You know, how do I see myself, and like, is there an archetype that like I could embody and that would make you know, me understanding myself easier, and also others understanding me through that archetype like easier too.
Yeah.
Right. One thing that I'm playing around with is like a humble gardener of like psychoflora or something, you know, like I like the idea of there's all these people like blossoming on Teapot, and they have their own projects, and I'm like, oh, you know, I sort of see how they connect, and I think I could help like give frames and frameworks for people to like work together more, or for how stuff is like compatible with like a systematic, like rational mindset. Yeah.
The gardener archetype, is I think a powerful one, because
like in a
like,
permaculture forest,
yeah,
you know,
like, exactly.
I'm in the wild.
That kind
I don't have like a
gardener.
fence around
Yeah.
around the garden. It's
You're
more
not
like
a farmer.
yeah, I'm not a farmer, exactly. I'm walking around the forest, and I'm like, this mushroom looks cool. I wonder if it would like to be, you know, connected to some source of organic matter, or, you know, oh, you know, I could pollinate these flowers if I brought some bees over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes me wonder what sort of archetypes work together well, like gardener and a cook or something. You know,
Yeah.
and then you cook the stuff that you garden.
Oh, also One Piece. Like, have you watched One Piece?
No.
No. Have you watched One
No.
Piece? Okay. I'm not gonna do a whole spiel on One Piece, but it's a pirate anime, and it's one of the greatest works of literature of our generation,
Okay.
if not the greatest.
Wow.
And you know, it's like a pirate crew, and they're really close. And like, Luffy is the captain. It's like he's like a stretchy, funny pirate, and he's also really strong. And he, like, all he wants is like be free, right? Like, he doesn't want money. He doesn't want to find his long lost parents. Like, he's not trying to prove he's the strongest. He just wants to be free. And being like the freest does mean that he probably needs to beat up like every other person who doesn't want him to be free.
Yeah.
But that's it. And like, all his crew are joining him, but not in a, you know, now we're subservient to your mission.
Yeah.
It's like aligning with Luffy is beneficial to their own mission. Like, every single person has a dream. You know, one guy wants to find the mysterious ocean where all the waters meet, and so you have all the fish, and like, he's a cook, so he wants to cook all the fish.
Oh, wow.
You know, another girl wants to map the whole world. She's a map maker. So, you know, who do you travel with if you want to map the whole world? You travel with the guy who wants to be the pirate king and like be the freest.
Yeah.
You know, the doctor wants to be the greatest doctor. Like, another guy wants to be like a brave warrior of the sea because he's like really scared of everything. Anyway, people's dreams sort of mesh with each other's,
Yeah.
right? And so they're like they're crewmates, but they're crewmates almost by circumstance, but they end up just traveling together and relying on each other and so on.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think it's a nice.
It's a really beautiful story.
Yeah.
It gives me chills.
Well, now I need to watch it. Now I need to watch
Yeah,
it.
I think you saw me well.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's great. I think you should.
It feels hard to me in this world to have. I've always liked this kind of stories and admired how in his stories the characters have well articulated, beautiful dreams that then they can synergize on.
Yeah.
But for me, it has always seemed like a really hard thing to have, like a very clear. Oh, my thing is I want to be the best cook or to.
Yeah, I feel you. I sometimes related point, very related. like committing to a thing, like reducing your optionality, like that's what committing to like defining a dream well
Yeah.
is, right? And like to me, I never want to reduce my optionality. Like choosing a degree
Yeah.
was like a nightmare.
Same.
Choosing a job, I haven't committed to like a job. Like I change jobs every like less than a year, every few months, or I have in the
Okay.
past. I have a point.
Please, I have a follow-up question.
It's yeah. I think you commit out of necessity. You. I think that reduction in optionality or that resistance to reduction in optionality comes from like almost an eternalist point of view. It's like, you know,
Eternalist.
yeah, because you're not aware that you're gonna die, so you have limited time, so you need to commit to make the most out of the world, using that thing. Because like, you know, if you're a D&D character and you choose all the classes at the same time, like you're just gonna be weak. You can put skill points in everything, right?
Yeah.
So I think it comes from like a mismatch, like a lack of perspective almost. For me, it's like, yeah, I have infinite time to choose, but no, like not choosing is also a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess my heuristic is like whatever's most practical right now, right? Like you can postpone a choice for a bit, but if you notice you've been postponing for a long time, just choose the most convenient thing. Choose the thing with the most pros, and it's like, if you really have to, you can multi-class later. Like we
Yeah.
talked about this.
Yeah.
We talked
Yeah,
about
yeah.
this earlier.
Yeah.
Okay. Follow-up question.
Follow-up question.
What have you committed to?
What have I committed to? Well, I committed to my degree. I'm a computer scientist. I
You have a 7 years plus relationship.
have a 7 years plus relationship, which is crazy. I didn't
Yeah.
think I didn't think I'd commit.
Where's the ring?
Where's the ring? I don't know. I think, you know, in many respects, I feel married. I think if we do like a big party, it should coincide with like having a kid or something. And I'm
Right.
still
Yeah.
like committing to having a kid, for example. I'd really like to know where I'm gonna be in the next like 5 years, right?
Yeah. Of course.
And you know, right now, I'm in Porto. If my life doesn't go well, I might want to move to San Francisco or something, or to New York. I don't know. Like, yeah, but I'm trying to commit to this dream of just, and this is a massive one, and I'll probably have to commit many times in a nested way. But like, sort of bringing the fire of like mystical traditions to like systematic. To a systematic ontology, like connecting woo and science, connecting spirituality and science and whatnot. And like I'm not the only one doing this. There's a lot of people, and at many different levels of like rigor. And I'm at one of the lowest levels of rigor, I think. But I don't know. It seems like a worthwhile project, and
It does, yeah.
pretty, and like early enough, because I feel like I'm trained in machine learning, but AI just feels like
Yeah.
solved almost. Like I know it's not
Arguable.
but and it can also be like my fear of like actual competition and of actually like testing myself against other people,
Yeah.
and like doing a pre-paradigmatic thing feels more feels safer because it's like there's lower energy around and I can just do my thing and it's less legible because like success isn't easy to measure or something,
Yeah.
or failure isn't easy to catch, but I don't know, I feel drawn to it. The caffeine.
The caffeine, bro.
Fucking caffeine. All right, we could, you know.
We're at about an hour. now.
Yeah,
How do we feel?
Do you have...
I feel a little tired.
Yeah, me too.
I need to switch the battery.
I switch it fast.
My eyes want to close a bit.
Yeah, me too. Well, like the...
Close a bit. I think we have a few more questions and.
Hmm. Yeah, I can do like 5 more minutes or something.
Yeah, 5 more minutes.
Well, yeah, something. If you are talking about rivers, you have only 2 things in your, not only 2 subjects in your body. Did you have a sense of like the?
What they are?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm looking for like a sense of embeddedness in a larger organism, like belonging, community, productive human relationships, right? It's like, yes, I have a family back home, but like I don't work with them. I don't think the energy like synergy is like that strong. Yes, I have friends, but we can't work together, or I don't feel like the stuff that I produce like immediately benefits them, and vice versa. And part of that is just the atomization of society, but also, can we solve it? Can we set up like a walkable neighborhood of people we like and who are competent and do things and make each other's lives better? That's like the main like thing for me. Yeah, and the rest is just ways of doing that.
I feel like more and more people nowadays have that feeling or thought.
Yeah, I think it's really central to meaning.
Yeah.
In life.
Yeah.
People are social animals.
Yeah, and it's been destroyed. Like that sort of like maybe like my grandparents had something like that maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But
not in the same way, because like your grandparents didn't have a village of 130 IQ hippies.
Yeah.
Do you come from a hippie family again?
Like just a bit, not very, but my parents got like interested in spiritual things when I was like young, like 10 years old or something, maybe even younger, but they weren't like materialists about it, or they weren't like systematic about it. So I rejected, because I thought they had poor epistemics and had to like build my own scaffolding for understanding.
Wow.
Yeah.
For me, it was the opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, your parents were like more scientists?
Yeah, atheists, complete.
And did you reject that as well?
Eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's why you're an art hole.
I'm in the art hole right now, yeah. Connecting with the spirit.
I should add something at, well, whatever.
One more question?
You sure have one? Sure.
How about
what do you think? Can I ask one?
yes,
quickly?
please.
What do you think of people here as epistemics? How good are
You want to start drama?
Oh, let's start a
tier
fight.
list portal participants?
Tier list epistemics of all participants. So first, I'm not gonna do that, although I really want to.
We can do it after.
Remember?
Yeah.
We did like at Just Come 2 last year. We played hot seats,
Mm-hmm.
and I think when it was Elias went on the hot seats. Rival voices asked him, "Who do you think has the best epistemics?" And like he looked around, he stopped on Rival a bit, and it was like me.
Yes, yeah, I probably agree.
Checks out.
About Elias, no, not me.
You versus Elias.
You don't think
Well,
you have the
me
best
obviously,
epistemics?
because I'm me, but like,
Okay.
but maybe not. Like I haven't spoken to Elias in a while. But yeah, the epistemics of people at Portal overall. Wait. Okay. Is the verdict.
Okay.
Yeah, they're okay.
We have a B minus.
B minus. Yeah.
Okay. What's the distribution like?
I'm not even sure if
You're not even
it's
sure?
a B minus. Like it might be better. I think okay. The actual answer is like it depends on your purpose or something, right? Like it depends on what you want your epistemics
Like
for.
instrumental
Right.
versus like some people have better instrumental epistemics than I wonder how the like your ability, there's like your epistemic skill of like acting efficiently on your goals, and there's like the epistemic skill of like knowing the world well.
I think I'd reject the second one as being real. So I think there's only like the first. I think it's always contingent on what your goals are, and that's why I moved from B- to. Actually, I'm not sure. I think everyone. So I don't have clear complaints. Yeah, that's a better one. I don't have concrete complaints about the epistemics of most people.
Okay, we should leave it there. I don't want more drama.
Yeah.
No, that's honest. I mean,
That's what? That's nice.
that's how. Yeah.
I mean, people want to be like in the A+.
Yeah, of course. But
We can work on it.
We can work
We
on
can
it.
work
Yeah,
on it.
you gotta leave some mystery
Some
to the next
tutorials,
few
something.
events.
Yeah.
You've got to pay me if you want an A+ epistemics, right? You gotta hire me for coaching.
I'm
I know.
thinking of closing with this question.
Sure. The third one.
Yes.
Sure.
Is there something else you had in mind before that?
The fifth one. No, I don't know. I feel a bit less. I feel jittery, so I feel less able to engage with like the brainy question. But like maybe you ask it and it's fun.
So, I guess for me personally, the thing that one of the things that attracted me when I saw the post about Portal and then the website was you had an image of the elephant and the blind man. And my question to you is, what is the elephant?
It's subjectivity as like an epistemically valid source of information or something, right? Yeah, let's leave it at that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Short and sweet.
Yeah.
I want to know more.
It's like it's soul, right? You're compelled by capitalism, by the economy to only take objectivity seriously, and objectivity means things that are true across individuals. When you normalize across individuals, right? And that deletes all the like bottom up information that pertains to you and your subjective experience, which is where a lot of the value comes from, right? Like when you follow the whims, the inscrutable exhortations of your soul or whatever, that's when serendipity starts to happen, right? And you meet the exact right person at the exact right time, and the funding shows up, and the resources, and you connect to the market that would like consume your offering or whatever. So yeah, I think there's a lot of really nice sense making that only makes sense within your personal frame, and if you're taking an outside view all the time, you just delete most of it. Yeah, and that pertains to like connecting spirituality and science. It's making this bridge between the subjective and objective, or more concretely, there are traditions, old and new, that without like a very firm grounding in like connecting to systems or to like scientific models of how the world works, like these traditions work on like eliciting this like subjective information and like aggregating it across people in like wholesome ways that don't delete as much of it. I'm thinking of like group practices and religions and meditation and like going to church and just all sorts of therapy practices like IFS and core transformation and focusing and whatnot. What I'm saying is, if you can make more of this legible to the objective side, you get a more wholesome society.
Yeah.
You might counter argue, but you're just doing what the left brain wants. You're just doing what the systematic side wants, which is systematizing more of the like stuff that's not systematizable. But counterpoint. I think my own approach to this stuff is very much like, I only engage with the woo for which I can formulate like plausible systematic explanations. You know, like I don't engage with astrology very much because I don't have a convincing argument for how it might work. But I engage with manifesting because I do have a like coherent enough model for how it might work. So you know, the left brain also prunes the search space.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's like you have like macro philosophy and micro philosophy, and the elephant represents like both, like the thread that runs between those.
So you're just, you know, touching one part of the elephant, and then bringing people together.
To touch the whole thing.
Touch the rest.
Yeah.
And
And we'll just have a big elephant hug.
elephant hug.
Yeah.
That's a good ending.
Yeah.
Big elephant hug.
Big elephant hug. Big elephant cuddle pile.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Goodbye.
For
Thank you guys for
Thank you
interviewing me and giving me attention.
Thank
It's
you.
been wonderful. Great conversation. Thank you for organizing all of this.
It's nothing.
It was nothing. I didn't like
Just do it together.
Just manifested it.